Hello, and thanks for joining me on Conversations with Alice. I am Aliceagada. Today, our conversation will be centered on self-loathing caused by traumatic experiences. Self-loathing refers to a strong dislike or hatred towards oneself. It is a deep-seated feeling of worthlessness, guilt, shame, or self-disgust. People who experience self-loathing typically have negative thoughts and beliefs about themselves, often believing that they are inherently flawed or unworthy. Self-loathing can be both a thought pattern and an emotional state. It usually arises from a combination of personal experiences, upbringing, and internalized societal expectations. It may be triggered by past traumas, failures, or perceived inadequacies. Some common causes of self-loathing include 1. Childhood experiences. Negative childhood experiences such as emotional or physical abuse, neglect, or bullying can deeply impact a person's sense of self-worth. These experiences may lead to internalizing negative beliefs about oneself and feelings of inadequacy. 2. Unrealistic standards. Society often imposes unrealistic standards of beauty, success, and achievement. Constantly falling short of these standards can fuel self-loathing, as individuals may feel like they are not good enough. 3. Comparison and social media. The presence of social media platforms can contribute to self-loathing. In the age of constant comparison, individuals may compare their lives, achievements, and experiences to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-disgust. 4. Perfectionism. Setting impossibly high standards for oneself and constantly striving for perfection can result in self-loathing. When goals are not met or mistakes are made, individuals may harshly criticize themselves and feel an overwhelming sense of failure. The effects of self-loathing can be damaging to one's mental and emotional well-being. Individuals experiencing self-loathing often engage in negative self-talk, focusing on their flaws and shortcomings, engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors, and may isolate themselves from others. This negative self-perception can lead to feelings of depression, anxiety, and even thoughts of self-harm. Trauma can refer to any deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope effectively. It could include experiences such as physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, neglect, assault, accidents, or witnessing violence. When individuals go through traumatic experiences, it can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and self-loathing. Self-loathing caused by traumatic experience is a complex emotional response that can have profound effects on an individual's mental and emotional well-being. Traumatic experiences such as physical or emotional abuse, sexual assault, witnessing a horrifying event, or experiencing a life-threatening situation can leave deep scars that impact a person's perception of themselves. Traumatic experiences or occurrences can indeed contribute to the development and intensification of self-loathing. Self-loathing due to traumatic experiences can be complex and multifaceted, but there are some factors that may contribute to its intensification. It is important to note that everyone's experience is unique, and not all individuals may experience self-loathing in the same way. Here is an explanation of how trauma can cause and engender self-loathing. 1. Negative self-perception. Traumatic events can shatter a person's sense of self and distort their perception of themselves. This distortion occurs because the traumatic experience generates intense negative emotions and thoughts about oneself, making the individual believe that they are fundamentally flawed, unworthy, or deserving of the traumatic events they experienced. These negative self-perceptions are deeply internalized and can fuel self-loathing. Trauma can profoundly impact one's self-image and lead to distorted beliefs about oneself. Negative thoughts about being weak, damaged, or deserving of maltreatment or mistreatment can contribute to self-loathing. 2. Guilt and shame. Trauma, especially when it involves personal harm or harm to others, can often lead to overwhelming feelings of guilt and shame. Survivors of traumatic events may blame themselves for what happened, even if the responsibility is unjustified. This misplaced guilt and shame can fuel self-loathing as the individual internalizes a belief that they are inherently bad, responsible for their suffering, or unworthy of happiness. These feelings can fuel self-loathing. 3. Self-blame. Some individuals may engage in self-blaming as a way to regain control or make sense of the trauma they experienced. This self-blame can lead to self-loathing and feelings of worthlessness. 4. Loss of trust. Traumatic experiences can result in a loss of trust in oneself and others. If the trauma was caused by someone the individual trusted, such as in cases of abuse or betrayal, it can lead to a general mistrust of others and oneself. This erosion of trust can lead to a negative self-image, feelings of unworthiness, and subsequently self-loathing. 5. Post-traumatic stress disorder and emotional dysregulation. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a common psychological condition that can result from traumatic experiences. Individuals dealing with PTSD often suffer from emotional dysregulation, experiencing intense and unpredictable emotions. This emotional volatility can lead to feelings of self-loathing as individuals struggle with regulating their emotions and perceive themselves as flawed or defective. 6. Flashbacks and intrusive thoughts. Traumatic experiences can lead to the development of flashbacks, intrusive thoughts, and nightmares. These manifestations of trauma can be distressing and cause individuals to relive the traumatic event repeatedly. The constant intrusion of traumatic memories can hinder the healing process and can contribute to self-loathing by reinforcing negative self-perceptions and intensifying feelings of shame, guilt, and unworthiness. 7. Social alienation and isolation. Trauma can also impact an individual's social connections. People who have experienced trauma may isolate themselves from others due to feelings of shame, fear, or mistrust. This isolation can intensify self-loathing as the individual may interpret their lack of social connections as evidence of their unworthiness or inability to be loved or accepted. 8. Lack of support. A lack of understanding, validation, or supportive relationships following a traumatic experience can exacerbate self-loathing. Feeling isolated and believing that others do not care or understand can intensify negative self-perception. 9. Cumulative effects. It is important to note that self-loathing resulting from traumatic experiences is often not a singular event, but occurs as a cumulative effect over time. The repeated exposure to traumatic events, along with associated feelings of guilt, shame, and worthlessness, can deeply ingrain self-loathing into a person's psyche. 10. Unresolved trauma. When trauma is left unprocessed or unaddressed, it can contribute to ongoing emotional pain, which may intensify self-loathing. It is important to seek therapy and support to help process and heal from traumatic experiences. Self-loathing resulting from traumatic experiences is a serious issue that often requires professional intervention. Seeking therapy, support groups, and developing healthier coping mechanisms can be crucial in healing and recovering from self-loathing caused by trauma. Self-loathing induced by traumatic experiences can have a profound impact on an individual's behavior and habits. Here are some ways in which self-loathing induced by trauma can contribute to engaging in reckless, risky, and negative behavior and habits. 1. Escapism. Self-loathing can create a desire to escape from emotional pain and self-awareness. Individuals might engage in reckless behaviors, such as drug or alcohol abuse, excessive gambling, or risky sexual encounters, as a means of numbing their feelings and distracting themselves from their self-loathing. 2. Self-destructive tendencies. Trauma can lead to a negative self-perception, causing individuals to engage in self-sabotaging behaviors. This could involve engaging in risky activities, neglecting personal health and hygiene, or pursuing destructive relationships, all of which reinforce the negative self-image and perpetuate self-loathing. 3. Attention-seeking behavior. Some individuals, driven by their self-loathing, may engage in reckless or negative behaviors to seek validation or attention from others. This can manifest in attention-seeking actions, impulsivity, and a need for constant affirmation, even if it means putting themselves in dangerous or risky situations. 4. Lack of self-care. Self-loathing can cause individuals to neglect their physical and emotional well-being. They might disregard healthy habits such as exercise, nutrition, and sleep, leading to a decline in overall health. This neglect reinforces their self-loathing, further contributing to negative behaviors. 5. Externalizing the pain. Sometimes individuals who hate themselves may externalize their pain onto others. This can result in aggressive or abusive behavior towards loved ones or even strangers, as a way to escape or distract themselves from their own self-loathing. Such behavior can perpetuate negative circles of guilt, shame, and self-loathing. 6. Difficulty in forming healthy relationships. Self-loathing can hinder an individual's ability to form healthy and positive relationships. They may feel unworthy of love and affection, leading to self-sabotage, isolation, or engaging in toxic relationships that reinforce their negative self-perception. It is noteworthy that engaging in reckless, risky, and negative behavior may not be a conscious choice made by individuals that are struggling with self-loathing induced by trauma. These behaviors often arise as maladaptive coping mechanisms and attempts to navigate the overwhelming emotions and pain associated with the trauma. Compassionate support, therapy, and building a supportive network can be vital in helping individuals address their self-loathing, heal from the trauma, and develop healthier coping strategies. Overcoming self-loathing due to traumatic experiences takes time, patience, and support. Here are some steps that may help in the healing process. 1. Seek professional help. Consider reaching out to a therapist or counselor who specializes in trauma. They can provide guidance, support, and specific techniques to help you navigate through the healing process. 2. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself and treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a loved one. Remind yourself that you are not to blame for what happened and that healing takes time. 3. Challenge negative beliefs. Identify and question the negative thoughts and beliefs that contribute to self-loathing. Replace them with more realistic and compassionate perspectives. Cognitive behavioral therapy techniques can be helpful in this process. 4. Build a support system. Connect with people who understand and validate your feelings. Seek support from friends, family, or support groups of individuals who have experienced similar traumas. Sharing experiences, thoughts, and emotions in a safe space can be healing. 5. Engage in self-care activities. Prioritize activities that promote your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. This can include exercise, healthy eating, getting enough sleep, hobbies you enjoy, and spending time in nature. 6. Develop coping strategies. Learn healthy ways to cope with triggers and distressing emotions. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, journaling, and relaxation techniques can help regulate emotions and reduce self-loathing. 7. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries to protect yourself from situations or people that trigger self-loathing or negative feelings. Learning to say no and prioritizing your own well-being is essential. 8. Consider trauma-focused therapy. Approaches such as eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy can specifically target trauma-related symptoms and provide effective tools for healing. 9. Practice self-reflection and self-forgiveness. Reflect on the traumatic experience and the impact it has had on you. Practice self-forgiveness and understand that healing is a process that may have ups and downs. Be patient and kind to yourself. It is important to reach out to a mental health professional for personalized guidance and support throughout this healing journey. It is crucial to remember that self-loathing is not an inherent or deserved outcome of traumatic experiences. Seek professional help from a therapist or counselor who can guide you towards healing and self-compassion. Let's keep the conversations going. See you next time, and bye for now.